Coming up on Up at Noon, the worst video game movie is getting a special Steelbook re-release, Ninja Turtles games are disappearing from the internet, and is it too soon to get excited about Star Wars Episode 8? No, it's not. All that and more right now on Up at Noon.
Ha! Ha! Ha!
Happy New Year, everybody! Welcome. You gonna
Happy
sneeze?
New Year!
Brian might sneeze at any point.
I had a
just
sneeze
quick
like right before
heads
the
up.
show started. It's been weird.
You gonna do it? Is it coming?
No,
Anyway,
we're good.
welcome to Up at Noon. I'm Max Coble. This is Brian Altano. This
Hi.
is a show where two adult men hang out with their toys and talk about things that are sort of like toys of the media universe. So, you know, movies and comics and
like
TV
that.
and games and all that. And yeah, we got a great show lined up. It's kind of a weird time of year because it's, you know, it's just after the holidays. Everyone's sort of rubbing their eyes and waking up and crawling out of their weird holiday caves. But
Is
yeah.
that where you spent the holidays?
Yes, the holiday caves with my family of bears, my Ursine relatives.
What you got to do is you eat a whole ton of food and then you just lay in one spot and shiver for about a month. And then when you get out, you do a big dump and start the new year.
That's how that works. Anyway, Up at Noon is a show we do live every Thursday at noon Pacific time. We are on IGN.com. We're on IGN's YouTube, Facebook, Roku app, PS4 app, Xbox One app, Apple TV app, twitch.tv/IGN, and IGN's Facebook. Did I already say that
Tell them
one?
about the new one. Grundle.
The Grundle.
It's coming to Grundles.
Yeah, that's
coming to Grundles everywhere.
the official Wiccan video streaming app. You need to burn an offering and be in a weird wooden hutch to watch it.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you want to get questions to us, the best way to do it is use the hashtag #UpAtNoon on Twitter, and we try to keep an eye on that. And you can let us know how weird our mics sound, or if
I'm typing that in right now.
There's
I'm
a low hum.
Doing my homework on the bus.
Doing the homework.
yes.
Anyway, we would like to thank our sponsor, Wendy's, for sponsoring the show.
That's right.
Yeah, Wendy's. They make hamburgers. They make Frosties. They make French fries. You can dip the French fry in the Frosty.
They
It's a
have
good
this
time.
new 4 for $4 deal. It's got all sorts of essential treats you can feed yourself. I'm kind of bummed because we don't have one like directly near us.
Yeah.
There's not. I really miss Wendy's, and
Yeah.
it's not even like a sponsor thing.
No.
Like me as an American man who loves cheeseburgers, who grew up on the East Coast and got to eat them all the time. We don't have Wendy's here in San Francisco.
There's
so it's kind of a pain.
there's like a weird kind of just like, I don't know if it's like secret turf war between the fast foods or whatever, but
Yeah,
they just
we don't
like
have
there's
to get
some,
into all
some
that.
stuff. Anyway, on the subject of big exciting things happening in 2017, there are a stupid amount of cool movies coming out this year.
They really are. It's kind of awesome, and we're gonna do the thing. We're not gonna get too excited for them, but we're gonna get really excited for them.
Okay, let's put it this way: these movies that are coming out this year, they might all suck.
No
They might
way!
No, they might all suck.
What?
They might be all terrible, but they're all based on ones that were probably good at one point. So chances are, if you have a favorite movie franchise, there's like a 95% chance, I made that number up, there's a 95% chance that that's getting a sequel or a reboot or a spin-off or an adaptation or something. So let's start with the big one. Obviously, we're big Star Wars fans. We're getting Star Wars Episode 8 this year.
Yeah.
That's cool. We're also big Alien fans, and Ridley Scott is back with Alien Covenant. That's nuts. Speaking of Ridley Scott, Blade Runner 2049 is coming out. Ridley Scott's not directing it. It's Denis Villeneuve, who did Villeneuve,
Yeah.
who did Sicario and The Arrival. It's got Ryan Gosling. It's got Harrison Ford. Could be terrible, but it'll look cool.
Really excited for that one.
War for the Planet of the Apes, the third in the Planet of the Apes reboot trilogy. You're a big
love
fan of
these
the original.
movies.
Yeah.
So these have been like really a treat to watch, and they keep getting weirder and darker. So I can't wait to see where this goes.
Yeah, and then of course, speaking of the apes and their dominions, Kong Skull Island is coming out. It's got
Kong Skyline is coming out.
Kong Skylander. Yeah, so that looks badass. It's got Steve Brule in it.
Yes.
And then of course, Transformers: The Last Night. If you've been tracking Transformers and you want to know why Optimus Prime went to space, I'm told he did go there, but he's back. And also, there's Merlin in this one.
What?
Okay.
Yes.
And then, of course, Spider-Man: Homecoming. We're getting yet another Spider-Man reboot. This is the first time he's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You already knew that. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I'm increasingly excited for this one. And then, speaking of Marvel, we're also getting Guardians Volume 2, which is undoubtedly going to be a lot of fun because the first one was great, and of course, it also might suck. You never know.
No, it's gonna be great.
This one I'm really excited about.
I love this logo.
Over the break, I watched what's it called? The Hunt for the Wilder People, which is the last movie this director did. Before that, he did What We Do in the Shadows, which is like a documentary about vampires, but it's funny.
I didn't put it together that those were everyone watched Hunt for the Wilder People. I told Max to watch that movie because there's like a young version of him in that film.
Yeah, but all we know about this right now is that it's Thor and Hulk on a space road trip, and we're hearing that Doctor Strange might show up there too. It sounds like it's going to be incredibly strange. And just based on the logo, I feel like they're leaning more into the sort of 80s weirdness of Marvel Comics rather than trying to make Thor like this gritty, like badass God of Thunder.
Yeah,
anyway,
this could be a good time.
Not to be too much Marvel fanboys, we're also getting Justice League. Hopefully this is a little bit lighter than the last one.
I think tonally, just looking at the trailers, it seems like it will be.
Yeah, you've got Ezra Miller cracking jokes as the Flash. You've got Jason Momoa as Aquaman just pounding tequila in the surf. Which is really unsafe. You're not supposed to drink tequila within 20 yards of a beach.
One of my favorite things in the world is
too much fun.
When Batman, who's gruff and serious, is surrounded by goofy people that kind of take him down a notch. So I hopefully get to see a lot of that.
Yeah, and then of course Wonder Woman also showing up.
Which looks gorgeous.
Yeah, that's one of those things. I don't know really enough about Wonder Woman to have a bunch of preconceived notions about what's being done right or wrong. So I'm kind of going into this more or less cold. I like Wonder and I like women, so what could go wrong? And then of course we're getting Logan. Go back to the word Logan. That was an exciting graphic we were showing on the screen. Go on. Thank you. Ogan. Oh, yeah. Anyway, there are rumors that Deadpool might show up. Ryan Reynolds is saying that, I almost called him Ryan Gosling. He'd be very mad about that. He's saying that this might be an Oscar contender.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but I mean, at the very least, it's Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, which, in spite of it, even when he's in the worst movies, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine still is great.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I would watch him play Wolverine in like a not X-Men movie. Like if he just showed up as Wolverine and like.
We got those rumors a while back that like this is going to be the last Wolverine movie, and then Hugh Jackman just said in an interview the other day like he's not ruling out doing more. So it's sort of like, not to compare it to like Underworld, but like every time they're like this is done, they're like maybe there's a little bit left.
There's also a new Underworld movie coming out this year. We're forgetting a ton of stuff. There's also a Baywatch movie, a Power Rangers movie. I'm forgetting a Fast and the Furious movie, a Triple X movie. I mean like not. You know the kind.
There's hundreds of Triple X movies coming out this year.
That's it. There's going to be adult parodies of all of these movies coming out inevitably. So yeah, chances are if you like a thing, it's probably getting a movie this year.
Yeah.
I think there's even a Barbie movie in the works. I don't know if that's this year, but you know,
Beauty and the Beast, Dark Tower, possibly.
Yeah. I mean, it keeps going.
Valerian.
Cars 3.
Jumanji.
Yep.
Trainspotting 2.
It's kind of nuts. Like we do this every year, but I feel like this is the year that it's really come to like a full head. Like last year, I was like, "Hey man, we're getting like a new Star Wars." I think the only thing we're not getting is a James Bond. We don't have a new James Bond in the works yet. But I mean, as far as like big movie franchises, that's huge. And then
what about Smurfs? The Lost Village.
Good.
I wonder what happened to those Smurfs in the end of the last one.
Katy Perry, she's too hard to look at. I need to see her represented in CG.
Excuse me, the Emoji Movie.
Okay.
Don't just text them.
If your favorite,
text them in the theater.
Franchise is the Emoji. Good news, because they're getting a film. Anyway, one other one that we're also getting, which is like a combination of other things, is we're getting a Lego Batman movie. That's going to be awesome. I'm very excited about that. So
yeah, this has a great voice cast. Will Arnett is Batman. I got to interview him at Comic-Con last year and just talk about what it's like to play a Batman toy. Like that was really fun. Michael Cera's in this movie. Zach Galifianakis is in this movie. You were saying we still don't know who Catwoman is.
Yeah. So basically, the Lego Batman movie, it comes out I think February 10th this year, and we're getting kind of teaser posters and little bits here and there. These are really like I'm usually whatever about like posters that get put out somewhere, but I feel like they're really just hitting you over the head with the fact that it's like, hey, it's Legos. Look at the plates. Look at those studs.
I love, I mean, this is like combining a bunch of stuff I love. I love graffiti, I love Legos, and I love Batman. So putting it all together right here, great art, great character designs. They're just so goofy. I love how Robin looks in these. Let's look through a few more of these.
And that's Will Arnett and Michael Cera voicing Batman and Robin. And then you've got Batgirl and Alfred, which is Rosario Dawson and Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, right? I mean, they're getting an incredible cast for this. And then there's Catwoman, who we don't actually know who's voicing her, but she's in there. And then the Joker, who, like you mentioned, is Zach Galifianakis, which I'm like having a hard time imagining how that's going to sound, but I think it'll be good.
Well, I think we think of like the Joker as Heath Ledger or Mark Hamill. If you think of the cartoon versions, even Troy Baker did a great job of sort of like echoing the Mark Hamill thing. Why not go in a totally different direction with this? So I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, and then of course you got Harley Quinn, who's voiced by Jenny Slate, who played. She's been on a bunch of stuff. I think she was in. I don't know. Of course, everyone watches Zootopia as much as I do, but she voiced was it Merriweather, the assistant mayor, the little sheep.
She was on the show Bored to Death with Zach Galifianakis, which I really loved. Canceled far too soon on HBO.
Yeah, and then Mr. Freeze, another mystery character. They're saying it's going to be sort of familiar. I think it's going to be Schwarzenegger. I think he's going to be reprising his
Really?
role. That's my guess. I might be totally wrong there. Anyway, Entertainment Weekly got these posters up there. You can go check out the rest. I think there's also like a Riddler and a Penguin on there. They didn't say who's playing them either, but I also wanted to point out the toys are already available in stores. Big surprise, they're making toys for the Lego Batman movie. Who would have thought that would have been a thing?
And they're awesome.
Yeah, they're great. I'm kind of like, I'm scared of buying too many Lego because like they get out of control very quickly.
Yep.
Like they pile up, and then there's always like extra pieces laying around. You're like, I can't throw these away. But
well, we were setting up the set in here like we always do when we brought toys in, and I have Ray's speeder right
Yeah.
here, the Lego version, and I knocked it off the table like I always do because I'm a big idiot. And I was saying to the guys in the studio, the wonderful team working on Up at Noon every single week, I said there's like a few things that are the worst things in the world to drop, and one of them are like fully built, completed Lego kits.
Yeah.
Like you drop one and it hits the ground, and you're like, I don't know where that went.
Yeah.
And now I
yeah,
just
yeah.
have like a weird made-up version of it
Yeah,
forever.
but that said, this one of Joker and Batman with these funny balloons. I just like the idea of Lego balloons. They're kind of great. But this is silly. This one, as a messed up '90s baby, this really appeals to me because it is basically a Batman Returns set. You've got weaponized penguins. You've got the big rubber duck tank that the Penguin drives, and then over in the corner, you've got all these like nonsense Batman suits that are totally like the old Kenner Batman toys, like neon orange scuba Batman and gold tuxedo Batman.
So you know what I love about this, like quick footnote, I grew up being a Batman fan, and I believe with the original Batman, they put out this like Batcave kit. It was a big like sort of set. And yeah, everybody had it. And the weird thing about it was that they re-released it every few years with a different paint job.
Yep.
So like sometimes they would just make it like brown to look like a cave. Other
Yeah,
times it would be like it's ice for the Penguin.
Yeah.
And I think all the way up to Batman Forever, they finally released a new one that was like a bunch of different tiered systems with like a zip line. But that really reminds me of like that old Batmobile set that I had that folded up. It had Wayne Manor in it. Super cool.
I'd put like the Batcave. It doesn't even really matter which version. I'm sure there's one crappy one out there, but the Batcave goes in the same category as like the Millennium Falcon or Castle Grayskull as like ultimate toys.
We should do like a playsets thing one day.
I would love to. And then finally, they're also doing a line of just like nonsense minifigs from the Batman movie.
I love this.
This is like they're dipping into like weird like back end Silver Age characters like the Eraser. I'm pretty sure look at the back. There's basically Kiss Batman. I
Yeah.
think they just call him Glam Rock Batman. There's Rubber Ducky Scuba Batman.
If you look in
But
the
these are,
back
like,
row next to the rabbit, there's actually like a Wolverine Batman.
I think that's actually Catman, but he basically has Wolverine claws.
Yeah.
But
Look
yeah,
at the
like
pink one up
then there's
front.
that dude with the numbers. That's the calculator. But these are going to be sold like I think like individually or whatever.
Yep.
I just like. I went into the Lego Batman movie thinking it was going to be like, I mean, what? That sounds like a dumb idea. The games are fine, but like, I don't know if I could do a whole movie. And then I was like, wait a minute, the Lego movie was awesome, and like, I love Batman, but I kind of miss Goofy Batman. We don't really get
Yeah.
that much. Like Brave and the Bold a little bit, but for the most part, all the stuff we've seen of him has been like just like really dark and gritty. And it's kind of refreshing to be like, oh hey, like what if it was kind of happy, even though yeah, his parents are dead, but I mean, whose parents aren't dead, right? I mean, a lot of people, I guess.
A lot.
Anyway, sorry. Congratulations if, my parents are alive. Anyway, I just remembered a weird thing when I was probably 3 or 4 years old. Like this is like just a very ancient, faint memory. I had a bunch of Legos, and just like the dumb kinds of. They weren't like Duplos, but they were like those kind of like mix and match sets.
Sure,
like
sure.
Maybe 1 or 2 spacemen.
Like the ones that came in like a big box. And
Yeah,
it was just
like build
random.
a house. There's a flower, whatever. And I don't know how I got it into my head, but somebody at like preschool. I wasn't even in kindergarten yet. Somebody at preschool was like, "Hey, you know about Batman?" And I was like, "No, I don't, because I'm 3. What is that?" And then he sort of kind of explained Batman to me, and I remember explaining to my mom that I'd built a bat plane out of Lego, but it had the Batman and the Joker riding around in it together because somehow I got wires crossed there, and I thought that the Joker and the Batman were friends, not Robin. So like I was playing with Lego Batman stuff before I fully understood what Batman was.
Yeah.
Like this was before I even got my first Ninja Turtle, which up until like just a minute ago I kind of thought was my first thing, my first nerd thing. But
Yeah.
like apparently I was just all wrong about Batman very early on. So I'm excited to see the Lego Batman movie and watch them do stuff that also isn't canon.
This
like
is
the Joker and the
this
Batman
this
being
is
friends.
this has been something that's with you your entire life.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I grew up on like the Adam West Batman through my father, who was just like he put it on TV, and it was just like, here's Batman. So to me, it was sort of like when like Zelda gets dark and gritty. I'm like, that's not really Zelda to me. When Batman's dark and gritty, like I get it. I grew up with those characters as well. But Batman's always been sort of like goofy and campy and fun for me.
Okay.
So I'm super excited for this movie just because it's like it sort of echoes that a little bit. The idea of them like walking up sideways on the building, holding ropes and stuff like that.
See, I had a different thing happen. I had a friend whose house I went over to, and it was right when the animated series was on. And this is a kid who he's like, hey, you want to watch the Batman movie? And I was like, dude, I'm so hyped on Batman right now. Yes, let's watch Batman Returns. And he puts on the Adam West Batman movie.
Oh,
and
the
I was
movie
like,
where...
And I had never heard of it, never seen any. And I was like, what is this?
With the shark in it.
Yeah, with the shark repellent.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is not what I want to watch. This is terrible.
Yep.
Anyway, growing up in the 90s, the other big superhero thing was X-Men.
Obviously, yeah.
And nowadays, you used to have to go down to the old KB toy store, but now you can sign up for a Funko Marvel Collector Core box, or a Star Wars Smuggler's Crate, or what was it called? Smuggler's Run? I don't know. And then the DC Collector Army or whatever.
Yeah.
The Marvel one this month.
new box, right?
Yeah, this is Funko's. You get it at MarvelCollectorCore.com or whatever. Just Google it. But yeah, this one is all X-Men themed, and I'm pretty stoked on it. You get a Storm patch, which I'm into. It's a nice Aurora Monroe there, and then you get a Magneto pin. You show those off.
I like that
and then
one.
I'm incredibly fussy about T-shirts, but I'm pretty stoked on this one because it's totally just an Xavier's Mansion.
Oh, that's really awesome.
Yeah, I'm
I
really
like that
down on
because it's not garish and covered in stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, so they throw a comic in there too.
Yeah, and you get your usual comic, and your kind of guide to the stuff that could be in here.
Yep.
And then a little Wolverine on a bike. Want to open that up for me?
Sure.
And then
I love opening toys.
I'm pretty into this. And then you get the rock candy, which is kind of like the sort of quasi Bratz doll, quasi pinup superhero stuff from Funko. And this is, of course, Mystique in her classic design, not that awful one from the movie they keep screwing up.
Dude, this is awesome.
Dude, Rebecca Romijn Stamos or Rebecca Romijn, whatever the hell she goes by, and Jennifer Lawrence are great, and those movies have wonderful special effects, but to me, it's not Mystique if you don't have the cool belt made of skulls. That's totally how she should be. She's got that cool skull up there. I guess they kind of have that, but I love this design. So
here's old man Logan over here on his motorcycle, which I really dig because he's got the sort of white hair on the side.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. There he is. He's like, no, I don't want to ride this motorcycle.
I don't want to wear a helmet.
I hate motorcycles.
Anyway, so that's Marvel Collector Core this month. They keep sending us these, so we keep opening them on the show. That's how that works.
That's right. Really like these. These are cool. This is a good motorcycle right there. I want more Funko Pop vehicles and accessories. They don't do enough of those.
I want to see them do some like reaction figure type stuff for just weird things. I don't know.
So
anyway,
Max, you can get that for just a couple bucks, right? You head over to the website. But
I
what
like
if you
it
have $9,000 that you want to spend on something?
oh man. So if you got $9,000, I got great news because you can finally buy a laptop.
Thank God.
Yeah. I mean, if you're one of those people who just hates getting change back on stuff, or you got to spend exactly $9,000, Acer has revealed this Predator 21X gaming laptop, which you look at it, you're like, all right, this looks like a pretty cool laptop, I guess. Well, here's the thing. There's a lot going on here. This has two GeForce GTX 1080X linked with NVIDIA's SLI tech. So basically, it has two graphics cards that are hanging out together.
Wow.
It has a 7th generation Intel Core K-series processor. I don't know what a lot of this means, but I do know that up to 4 terabytes of SSD storage is that's a lot of terabytes. That's a lot of space. And also it does something where I think it uses some processing stuff to make the terabytes go faster in the SSD. If that wasn't enough, it also has built-in eye tracking through this thing called Toby.
Is that the panel at the top up there?
I think this is a webcam, but it probably tracks your eyes too. So if you not only want people to watch you, but also to watch you and make eye contact, there's that. And then there's a mechanical keyboard with customizable backlight options, a numeric keypad that flips over, and you can turn it into a touchpad. There are 4 speakers and 2 subwoofers, 5 cooling fans, and this thing weighs 17.6 pounds.
Oh my God.
And I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, maybe it's kind of looks like a nice laptop, whatever. It's a big boat. Also,
That is a beast.
forgot to mention this part. It's, I think, the first gaming laptop with a curved display.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is it's got that curvature thing going on, and yeah. So I mean, if you for whatever reason have $9,000 and you're on the go enough that you need a gaming rig with you, but not on the go enough that it needs to not weigh 17 pounds. There you go.
See, I could see like a pro esports gamer getting one of these just to be able to bring it anywhere, play at the airport, play at the train station, and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I think it's like we're finally getting to the point where people are like, I want a really beastly PC, but I don't want to lug it with me everywhere.
Yeah.
Like we just had the holiday break, right? I had that thing where I was like, I should throw my PS4 in my backpack, bring it home, get to play it for a little while. Ultimately, I chose against it, I guess because I'm not a hardcore gamer. Fire me. But people nowadays want to take that stuff everywhere, so I guess it makes sense. What's the biggest laptop you've ever had? Because I had a Sony Vaio that had a 17-inch screen.
I've never had a 17-inch like monitor. I had I think it was a 15-inch, but it was like a lower end Dell, so it was like, I don't know, like that thick.
Yeah,
and it
was heavy?
It was definitely heavy. Like it was. I got it as like a graduation thing, and I was like, I'm gonna bring this to college, and I was like, oh, this is too heavy. I should go to community college instead.
Yep.
College is too far to take this away.
Yeah, I have like a, what is this, like a 13-inch MacBook Air
Yeah.
now. It weighs like 1.5 pounds, and you can chuck it in your bag. But I used to go to E3 with like this 17-inch Sony Vaio, and I open it up, and people would be like, what are you doing?
You gotta
Like,
watch some movies there.
Hey, what do you have that for?
Yeah, that's
You know?
nuts. Yeah. So CES is going on right now. If you like to keep track of nonsense technology, just keep an eye on IGN because we've been covering a lot of the stuff coming out of there. I think most recently, Razer this morning announced that they have decided to make the world's first gaming laptop that has 3 monitors. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, wait, so it like folds out?
Yeah, you open it up and then they come out to the sides like this.
Okay, that's bizarre.
It looks insane. I think they just did it so that no one else could.
I saw yesterday L'Oreal announced they have a $200 smart hairbrush, which I clearly don't need. But it senses like how much damage your roots are doing, or it's sort of like, I don't know. I have like a like $130 toothbrush that like gets mad at you when you put too much pressure on it.
I love
stuff
that.
like that.
Yeah.
But so it does the same thing for hair. CES, I got to work the show last year, first time, hopefully last time. It's a weird event. I don't complain about going on business trips, but that's the kind of show where it's just like 7 football fields in a row of nonsense. Like it's like hoverboards and like weird smart mirrors that make you pretty when you look at them, and like dog like tracking pet friend devices.
I think my favorite thing you told me about from CES was the robotic grill cleaner.
Oh my God.
It was basically a Roomba that had steel wool that you put on your grill, except it just goes.
I was in tears watching that.
But you said it was like the loudest thing, and you
so they had this like, it was like this robotic barbecue cleaner that you put on top of your barbecue, and it just looked like the little scrubbing bubbles robot, or that little guy, like sort of like this fake sandwich down here. But he was a robot, and you put it on top, and the guy was just like, yeah, so you just turn it on, it cleans your grill, it's super easy, and you just go back to partying. You can hang out, you don't have to worry about it yourself. Let's give it a shot. So I'll just turn it on, and it just started grinding, and he's like, yeah, so as you can see, like you can just cook anything you want, and it's real fun. Just hang out, just crack open a cold one and just let it do its work. And it was like, it's like,
God, you're hurting my ears.
it was so bad.
It sounds like that juicer that Homer gets on The Simpsons. It's
Yep.
like you could hear it just barely makes a whisper.
Yep.
Anyway, video games are a cool thing that we love. But the thing about them that's worth noting is that they do a lot of very stupid, nonsensical, idiotic, impossible things that we all take for granted.
Yes.
It's just, that's a thing they do. So let's talk about some of those.
That's all right.
Yeah. First things first. They make jewelry that makes you stronger or smarter, or really there's jewelry in video games that does anything.
Yes.
Jewelry, aside from watches, I guess maybe smartwatches, typically doesn't do anything. Right?
Well, I don't know. I have a wedding band. It keeps sexy ladies away.
Yeah, but it makes weird waitresses like put their hands on you when they're putting the check by there. Huh?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It also attracts people too, like
Yeah.
weird ones who want to be home wreckers.
Yeah.
So that's a power.
Yeah. And then, of course, speaking of waitresses and food, food in video games is real nonsense because you can just eat some of it and you're immediately better.
You can get shot and have a cheeseburger and you're okay.
Yeah.
Especially like you play the old Turtles games. There's like pizza on the street that like helps you get healed from stabs. I love pizza and I love Turtles. I love New York. I wouldn't eat a pizza slice off the street if I got stabbed. I would call the cops.
And obviously, like, in real life, if you get injured, you should eat because it's good for you and it will eventually help you, like, recover. But if you get hit by a car, like having a hot dog won't do anything for you. That's not really how that works.
Not even close.
And then, of course, there's the whole issue of just storage, carrying stuff. We all have the issue of of finding places to put things and having too many things and being hoarders. I love in video games how it's like you can have just a bunch of stuff, just a lot of crap. You carry around like a bunch of potted plants and like grenades and stuff in Resident Evil.
Yep.
But then if you get one thing too many, you're like, oh no, this won't work at all.
Well, it's like when you're playing Skyrim or like Fallout and you have like 70 guns, but you pick up a fork and they're like, that's too much.
Yeah.
Or like Resident Evil 4, like we just showed you, like you can pick up a chicken egg in that game and it's the same size as a grenade. So you put it in your backpack and they're like, sorry, you can't carry this gun because you have too many eggs and grenades. So
Yeah.
you eat one of the eggs and throw a grenade and now you have room for a gun. What?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, of course, I like how the just security professionals, whatever you want to call them, like cops or guards or soldiers or wizards or anybody who's going to get mad at you for being in a place, they really just don't care that much. Like, they'll be like, hey, you, get off of there. You, slow down. And then if you hide behind a bush or something for like 5 minutes, they're like, yeah, I think he's gone.
Yeah.
He's probably gone.
If you had a loved one that got murdered in a video game, the cops would be like, well, look, we had a case open for about 40 seconds. We didn't find him, so that's your life now. It's over.
Yeah.
Like you playing Assassin's Creed, a character chases you on the roof, and he's like, huh? Where'd you go? And he like looks in a hay pile, and he's like, he's probably gone. And then he leaves, and you're like, well, I'm clearly still up here, you idiot. Like you have a job. There's pictures of me all over this game. Like you know what I look like.
Yeah. And then I think my favorite, and there's a few exceptions to this, but for the most part, you never have to go to the bathroom.
That's right.
There's a lot of games where you can, but never is it like, dude, I would love to go fight the wizard, but I gotta pee.
Actually, a lot of people don't know this, but most famous video game protagonists are wearing adult diapers. Such as Nathan Drake here. It took him 6 days to climb to the top
Well,
of
that
this
explains
rock.
why he can go sliding down all those gravel hills without hurting himself too much.
Yeah, he's got an ass full of turds.
Yeah. Good God. But I've always loved that because, I'll be on a road trip or something, and I'm like, we got to pull over now. Like, I gotta whiz.
Dude, there were sometimes we run like a Let's Play package in the middle of the show, and I'm like, I gotta go pee right now. I'm an old man.
Yeah.
Like Nathan Drake or Mario, they can get to the top of the flagpole, and they're just like, oh, I gotta crap.
That's gross. Anyway, one game that's been a big hit this holiday season is Overcooked. Maybe you've checked it out. Maybe you haven't. If you haven't, you need to do that. And in the meantime, here's us playing it and being real bad, dirty raccoon chefs.
Hello, everyone. It's me, Brian Altana, famous chef and connoisseur.
And it's
along
me,
with my good friend Maximilian.
the official gesture of chefs.
Now, Max, you're a French boy. You're good at doing some cooking stuff.
I've basted a turkey or two in my time.
We're gonna play a little Overcooked today. That is a game about friendship, fighting, and divorce.
Yeah, and a
In the
nice
kitchen.
niçoise salad.
Oui, oui. Ooh la la. Let's make a nice reduction sauce.
Hold on, I crashed my van into a nuclear power.
Get the car out of the power. Go to the level.
Look, it drives over trees.
Okay,
Want to do this
here
one?
we go. Yeah, we'll play 1-4.
All right.
Okay. What are we making today? I'm going to
be
be the reindeer, although there's a raccoon in a wheelchair that I really
Is there
like.
really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There he is.
So if you're just tuning in, Overcooked is probably the best co-op party game of the year.
Yeah.
Did we just pick the
Yeah, we
same?
both picked the same.
Damn
It's
it.
fine. It's okay. It's all right.
I get dibs on
We're not
raccoons.
going to get confused.
Look at that little man. That's so funny.
He's in a wheelchair. He hurt his legs trying to get in that trash can. Oh, we're making burgers.
Okay.
Dirty burgers, raccoon
I
boys.
love a basic burger.
All right, so we have a few minutes now. We
Okay.
have 4 minutes to make some burgers. What do you want to start with?
Here, why don't you go and handle the cooking?
What? Okay.
Yeah.
So why you give me tomatoes? You want me handling the cooking?
Fine, I'll handle the cooking then.
What are you talking about?
Give
All
me
right.
get this stuff over here. I don't
I'm chopping up some meats.
crap in a hat. Just
Yeah.
get the damn stuff over. So basically, it's like co-op cooking mama kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Where's the chopper's board?
I'm going to give you a whole bunch of some chopped up meats, and I want you to do with them what you will, okay? How's that work for you?
I like a nice chopping meat. So we're just
I
making.
already don't like
so
this.
we got some real. We got a real weenie boy over here who just wants the meat in the bun.
Okay.
So we
What's
actually.
wrong with him?
I don't know.
No vegetables?
Yeah, come on, man. Just get it together. I'm doing real bad here. I'm looking at the menu. I play this with people who are much more organized than you, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
What does that mean? I'm organized.
I mean, yeah. Let's see. We need a nice piece
Organized
of.
than you.
That's true, but I mean, like in strategy.
Oh, well, we're not really. Oh,
Actually, a fun trick in restaurants is to take the food off the plate and then put it back on the plate as a goof.
There you go.
Hey.
So I got you all sorts of meats cooking up over there. Excuse me.
Get out of the way. This would be the worst restaurant. There's just two like raccoons in wheelchairs just rubbing their little wet hands all over the plates.
Licking their lips.
Okay.
I don't really know what your job is right now. You seem to be just kind of like doing anything you can.
I mean, yeah, we don't really. Who's the sous chef? Are you the sous chef?
What are you talking about?
I'm Susan Chef.
making meats. I'm Susan Sheffington's.
All right, we got the pot, the pan, the fryers.
What kind of sick dude just has?
Did I forget to cook the bun?
No,
I
you have to
didn't.
cook the bun.
Hey, I did it. Cooking a bun. Did you just put the meat in there raw?
No, we're good. I
All
cooked
right,
that meat.
cool,
See
fine,
if that
great.
dude gets sick. I'm gonna do some dishes.
Thanks.
All right? This is
Someone
helpful.
around here has to.
Excuse
Get
me.
out of my way.
Excuse me.
Yeah, so this game gets real crazy town. Did I cook that all the way?
What's going on? You're not doing anything.
It's cooked.
God, here. All right, so I'm gonna bring you some burgers. You set them up on some plates.
All right.
All right, that's a
Who
plate.
wanted this basic bun? There you go. I got $4. Here, I'll bring you these. Get out of the way.
You didn't get $4. The restaurant did. You do not get to keep that money.
Excuse me. The tips are shared with the kitchen staff, and I
No.
am one of those boys.
These are dirty boy raccoons.
Ah, you know, if you hired actual raccoons to work in a kitchen, they would just get their paws everywhere. They'd eat all the ingredients. They wouldn't care.
I agree.
That's why they don't hire. That's why they don't hire vermin to work in restaurants. I mean, sometimes the vermin happen like in Pixar movies, but you know.
All right, what else do you need over there? You got to start calling out orders, man.
All right, I need like lettuce and tomatoes. I'm running out of that real bad. Okay, we got here's one ready to go guy here. That's what we call that. The specials, the ready to go guy. There we go, $4. All right, I'm gonna flip of the meatball.
There you go. You got 2 burgers coming up.
Cool, thanks.
That need a little bit of that old love.
I'm out of plates. I just got hot pans sitting everywhere.
Just feed it to him on a hot pan. That's a new. That's a new
Give
thing
me some
people
buns.
really
What is this,
enjoy.
protein style?
Oh God.
Give me the buns.
Such a baby. There you go. There you go.
It's not a baby. I'm the chef.
You're not the chef.
I'm the chef.
You're a raccoon in a wheelchair.
We're both raccoons in wheelchairs. There's
All right, we
nothing
have
wrong
about
with
45 seconds. I think we have plenty of time to
that. Give
make
me
some
that bun.
wonderful.
Don't put the bun in the corner. What's wrong with you? It's not how you cook a
They
restaurant.
can't see in the kitchen. We got high walls in here. What's going on down there? What's
Give me
the
more
system?
meat. You pay attention too. I thought there was to be some autonomy here.
God, what a.
I would say there's not enough cooks in the
Don't
kitchen.
know I don't know what you're doing over there.
Give me more buns and stuff. I
Here.
gotta use my
Get
boost.
some of that meat.
I gotta use the boost. And just get the. You think
What
everyone goes?
boost? There's no tables. You're not cooking
You
the
can
meat.
boost. Just push B. You can do a little fart and get out of there real fast. Music's getting faster. This is gonna get real crazy.
All right,
Who would hire-
I'm serving him a tomato sandwich.
You know, I think it's. Don't do that. That's they're
We're doing
angry
it.
at us now.
We're doing it. You getting dirty plates? Everybody gets dirty plates.
Oh, time's up, which is good because you were serving them dirty plates and I'm serving a lettuce sandwich. Wow, we did pretty
Yay!
good. That's pretty good for a Yelp review. I think we did all right.
We did. No orders failed.
How many people got food poisoning from our filthy little vermin hands? All right,
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's what 2 raccoons in wheelchairs look like when they're making cheeseburgers together in Overcooked.
I like to think that if we were raccoons in wheelchairs, we could probably cook a good restaurant meal. You know,
Yes.
and you could eat it, but you'd get sick.
You'd get very sick, but
Yeah.
it'd be a great last meal.
Go in the kitchen at your favorite restaurant and find out what's making the food back there. Is it raccoons? Could be.
Fool your friends. Do a good goof.
Find
Get
out
some
next
vermin
time.
animals.
On IGN,
Funny little bears making hamburger sandwiches.
nano machines.
Yum.
We're back, and we're terrible cooks, but we're blaming it on the raccoons.
Yeah, that's what most restaurants do when they go out of business. They're like, sorry, Gary left the back door open and hundreds of vermin got in and spoiled all our famous recipes.
I know you love raccoons and you love restaurants. What would you do if you were in a restaurant and a raccoon ran in there?
I don't know.
You would say.
Probably take a picture of it.
You'd take a picture, but you'd keep eating. I
Yeah.
know you.
So I'm on Twitter right now because we were just playing a video game, so I didn't need to pay attention to anything. Joel Lamas tweeted at us using the hashtag #UpAtNoon, and he showed off his orange Batman, which sounds real weird until you see the picture. Do you remember these guys?
Click on that. I wanna see that.
It is. Oh, there we go. It gets bigger.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
I love that. That's one of the animated series ones. What I loved was when Kenner did like the Batman Returns line, and they were like one of my first ones was a neon yellow scuba Batman that had like this weird like life raft thing with him that launched like a grappling hook out of it. And I thought it was really cool when I was 7, and I still think it's really cool now that I'm 30. So anyway, Batman should be a lot of different colors. That is my report. The
Yes,
end.
I agree. That's very good. He looks like he's wearing like spandex or something in that too. Plus like weird lingerie.
Yeah.
Max, we got sent an awesome book this week. It's called Beautiful Minecraft. It's by No Starch Press. I'm a big Minecraft fan, and I always try to make really cool looking stuff in the game, but these guys actually turned a lot of the things that people have made in Minecraft into an actual book. And it's just incredibly stunning. So using different sort of filters and mods and sort of texture packs, you can make stuff in Minecraft look just incredibly cool looking.
Dude, from a distance, this just looks like photographs.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, but that's
Isn't that nuts?
That's Minecrafts. Yeah, so in-game, I don't know if
look
we
at
can
that.
show that. It's touching the buttock. No good there. Ooh, the Frog King, or whatever.
So this stuff's nuts. Like,
Yeah.
look at that. So this is hope for you. If you make Minecraft art, your stuff can be in a book.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of this. It's $19.99. You can buy, or $19.95, and it's in stores everywhere. You can probably get it on Amazon and a bunch of other places. But it's just a really cool sort of showcase of like, people are always like, are video games art? Yes. This is proof.
Yeah.
This is an art book of video game art. So yes, this is Beautiful Minecraft. You can get it right now. It's by James Delaney. Go check that out.
What I think is mind-blowing about that is Minecraft is such a versatile game. I mean, calling it a game is just a huge understatement. It is so versatile that people can create things within this that are complex enough that you can photograph them and then put them in a book. Like, that's such a long walk. You could just go outside and photograph stuff, but instead, like, why not just build it from the ground up first and then photograph it? I love in-game photography. Like, that's a thing that people do, and more and more studios keep kind of adding like that feature,
like camera mode or photo mode and stuff like that.
But
Yeah, I
people
really like
making short films in GTA. I think that's such a. It's so funny that GTA people are like, oh yeah, it's that game where you can run over the cops with the car and there's prostitutes or whatever. But then there's also like, but there's like a robust like movie making studio.
Yeah, people take like movie trailers and they remake them in
stuff.
GTA. They take famous things, they remake them in Minecraft. It's so cool. If you're creative and you love video games, like keep making cool stuff. You could end up in a book one day.
Yeah.
You can end up in
Or a
working for a
prison.
studio or a jail.
Yeah.
The Hard Time Slammer Jammer. Why did we go there? That's odd.
Anyway, I don't know. I
Hey,
couldn't think of a better segue.
That's right. Max, last year we had a movie called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. You and I adored it because it was a big goofy cartoon. As usually happens, a game came out around the same time. It's called Mutants in Manhattan. It wasn't great. IGN gave it a 4.9. It was released May 24th of 2016 to coincide with Out of the Shadows. That game is gone. It's less than a year old. It has already been removed from major stores, which is really, really crazy. Really insane. So we're actually going to take a look real quick at some games that were also removed. All Ninja Turtles games. So this one, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Let's head back real quick.
Okay.
This is Turtles 2, the arcade game. I grew up playing this in arcades. It was awesome. They put it on Xbox Live a couple years ago, and then it just got yanked. It's just gone. Digital game, obviously not a retail game. This was not. It hasn't been released in retail since the NES days, but the NES part of this game was put on Xbox Live Arcade and then just pulled, gone. So if you own it and you didn't delete it from your console, you still have it. But in the meantime, if you wanted to go back in the store and see if you could get it again, you can. Let's take a look at another one. Ninja Turtles for NES, the original one.
That terrible underwater level.
Yes, terrible underwater level, which I threw up there so people remember. This was on the Wii eShop, not the Wii U, but the Nintendo Wii eShop for a while, and then just one day got pulled. So it's sort of a running theme here with Turtles games. More recently, in fact, just this week, if we can head on to the next one, this game, Ninja Turtles Danger of the Ooze, was removed from the PlayStation Store. Activision seems to be the running theme with some of these, although earlier it was Konami who published the earlier Ninja Turtles games. And then next, we've got this, which is Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. Really, really crazy. This is the game that came before the movie, but shares the same title as the movie.
Yeah, and this wasn't received too well.
No. So regardless of like critical reception or anything like that, I thought we could have a quick conversation about this because I think it's very interesting to me that a game that was released last year is already gone. Now, Activision just pulled that game. They also pulled The Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2. You might remember a year and a half ago, or a few years ago, there was a Deadpool game that did pretty well. Nolan North voiced Deadpool.
Yeah.
That game got pulled from stores as well, or from digital stores. And then the movie came out and they re-released it and re-released an HD version of it. But there was a dark age there for about a year where you couldn't buy Deadpool digitally. I'm an all-digital guy. I don't really like clutter. I don't really like physical stuff unless it's toys and stuff like that. But I don't like having a shelf full of discs.
Sure.
That said, what happened here was the licenses for these games is very expensive, right? If you
Yeah.
want to license a Ninja Turtles or a Spider-Man thing or anything like that, it's expensive. And to renew that license has to be sort of justifiable by the publisher. And if they're looking at the sales for a game like, this one, Mutants in Manhattan, that got a 4.9 on IGN and didn't do so well elsewhere, you have to look at the cost of doing that and weigh it versus the cost of keeping it up there. And they probably said it's not actually worth renewing.
It gets really complex with something like Spider-Man 2, where Spider-Man is owned by Marvel originally, which is owned by Disney, but Spider-Man, the movie property, was owned by Sony, which of course has its own platform, but if Activision had the rights to Spider-Man, so there's like this whole web, if you'll excuse me, of kind of different legal complications. And then, I mean, you get stuff like that with really, I think especially anything that had like a parent company and like movie rights and everything. Ninja Turtles, I don't know who owns them. I guess Nickelodeon does right now.
Yeah,
and
Nickelodeon
Activision's
has
the
them.
right. And,
Yep.
Yeah.
So you have like different things, like you have the movie rights, and you have the game rights, and then you have like the TV show rights, and the action figures and stuff like that, comic books, all those things. So it's all like if you look at something like the James Bond license, right? Like it's under like 7 different umbrellas right now. A game like GoldenEye, but I think it's really interesting that like we talk about PT all the time as this game that like was huge, really cool sort of like tech demo of an idea of Guillermo del Toro and Kojima's game that was going to happen. Konami canceled it. Then they pulled that demo / game from PlayStation 4s, and some people still have it. And the idea of like getting a new PS4 and carrying it over from the old one to the new one is like this special feat because by all means it's impossible to get or download anywhere. There's a bigger problem happening with licensed games. So if you collect games and you collect digital games, those are the ones to keep an eye out for, because more than likely, if you buy a digital game today that's based on a license and it didn't do that great, but it's got a special place in your heart, like say you collect Turtles games, there's a chance you might never get to get that again. Like somebody trying to buy that game this year, now what, like 6 months, 7 months after that game was released, cannot buy it anymore, so you'll have to get it on a disc.
Yeah, and there's no like track record here for hard copies.
Nope.
I mean, I don't know what I'm sure there's some licensed games that are super rare. Like for instance, was it Flintstones 2 on NES or Flintstones?
Yeah.
Really hard to find. And then meanwhile, E.T. for the Atari, they had so many of them they had to put it in the desert and run over with a bulldozer.
Yeah.
So.
It's safe to say that like Activision isn't going to be printing any new copies of Ninja Turtles Mutants in Manhattan anytime soon, but you might want to buy it at home from your PlayStation Store, and now you can't. So if you have that downloaded and for some reason you don't want to delete it, hold on to it. I've read stories of people like selling consoles years later that still have things saved on them. People sell PS4s with PT on them for more money than a PS4 costs. So just some stuff to keep in mind if you're a collector. We are heading into an all-digital future eventually, I feel, whether we all like it or not. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, all of these games were once movies, and movies are a place where you can go and sit down and enjoy a film by yourself or with your friends for a few hours and not be bothered by anything, hopefully, except now, more than ever, people bring these into their theaters and they cannot stop. I just got a text. They cannot stop looking at them. Very, very difficult time to watch a movie. I was just went to go see La La Land with my mother the other day, and there were 4 people in front of me who, right at the very last minute, as they dim the lights and they say shut off everything, are just like fighting to get those last few texts in. I don't know how you feel about all this, Max. I think you're on my page here where you don't want this to happen anymore.
Sorry if we're about to sound like total grandpas or whatever, but like if you feel the need to text constantly and have your phone out, just don't go to the movies.
Yeah.
Like it's really, really that simple. It's
Totally.
okay.
Yeah.
If there's an emergency or whatever, like I don't know what to tell you. Like that
just get up and walk out at that point.
Go
Like if there's
outside.
an emergency. Like it's also like I feel like movies like Rogue One is going to be out in like a few probably months or weeks on Blu-ray and streaming sites. Movies come so fast now. It's not like the olden days where like you saw Jurassic Park in theaters and like a year and a half later it was out on VHS maybe. They happen so quickly now. So anyway, Apple has a new update coming for iOS. It's 10.3. If you've been keeping up with their updates, they always add cool little things and fix a bunch of just kind of mistakes and things that screw up. There's a rumor, and this is coming from like a reputable Mac rumor website where it's gotten a couple things right. That
Old McRumors.
Old McRumor. That coming to iOS 10.3 is this new thing. It's basically called Theater Mode, and it's a popcorn-shaped icon, just like you have like on your phones now. You have that little airplane icon, which gets you into airplane mode. Immediately lets the stewardess stop bothering you for being on your phone or whatever it is. This will be a little popcorn-shaped icon that you will push. It'll mute all notifications. It'll mute all lights from coming in, and it'll basically not like shut you out of the world, but make it so there's nothing in your hand that can sort of glow and emanate and annoy people. The rumor about it right now is this policy enforcement capability is useful for a variety of reasons, including, for example, to disable noise and or light emanating from wireless devices, such as at a movie theater, for preventing wireless devices from communicating with other wireless devices, such as in academic settings. So this could also be used at school, which is weird to like walk into a class and hit a popcorn button.
I don't get this.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it because it feels like airplane mode already kind of does that for the most
Yeah.
part. If you're still on Wi-Fi or whatever, you can also just turn your phone off. It's voluntary, so anybody who's going to be like, I don't turn my phone off in movies. What if I got an emergency? Then, well, like, what's going to stop them from not using this?
Yeah, I think it's the kind of thing where for like, you know, people do what they're told in a movie theater for the most part. Like if it says like, get up and go get a drink, you can go do that. Like there's a big sign in the front that says like, don't yell, don't talk. But if they put up a big thing, it says like, push the popcorn button on your phone right now, and everyone in the theater reaches into their pockets, pulls out their phone, and pushes that popcorn button at the same time. I think it makes more sense than being like, welcome to the movie theaters. Push the picture of the airplane. You're like, what? Okay.
I guess that's true. That says a lot about how terrifyingly stupid a world we live in.
Yes.
There's that.
I
I don't
will
know.
never debate you on that. I completely agree. I mean, we're adult men in cool jackets surrounded by idiot
Hey,
toys.
check out this thing of Pogs I found.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So yeah, what do you think about this? You think it's going to happen?
I don't know. It just makes me want to not go to the movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like. I'll let my phone die. I don't care. Like, just
Well,
whatever.
I'm all for like that day and date digital, like get stuff the day it's out in theaters. Like I will pay $20 for a
Yeah.
movie on opening night to watch it at home on my 4K TV with surround sound. Like,
Movie theaters are in a weird spot right now because they're trying to compete with people watching at home. Like the fact that you can buy like a big screen TV. Like I mean, I remember in like the 90s, like people with CRT TVs, like a big screen TV was a different thing from a TV, and
Yeah.
now it's just the same thing but kind of bigger. Like you got what, like a 60-inch TV?
Yeah, 65.
Yeah, I got like a 42-inch TV, and like there was a time when I think growing up we had like a 30-inch maybe,
And that was
like,
huge.
That was like a big
Well,
deal.
I'll go to old movie theaters now and sit down and watch the movie and be like, huh.
Yeah.
That picture is worse than the one I have at home. Like it's
Yeah.
just a crappy old
I
projection.
mean, I got a PSVR that has virtual movie screens in it, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, so movie theaters, meanwhile, are like, oh, come on by, we've got craft cocktails, and we've got like, oh, like comfortable chairs that maybe are better than your actual couch at home, and oh, you can reserve your seat now, or like, there's all these different, oh, get a custom pint glass, or oh, it's
Yep.
3D IMAX, or whatever it is that they're doing to try to push it. But at the same time, they're also being like, I mean, maybe you could text there. Or, do you want to like what do you want to make your movie going experience better?
Well, yeah, and two things. I wanted to give a shout out real quick to the Alamo Draft House because I think they're a movie theater chain that really gets it. When we go see movies in there, we went to see Rogue One there the other day. They tell you very early on, like if you're talking in the theater, you'll get kicked out.
Yeah.
If you're texting in the theater, you can actually put a little card where you order your food and drinks and say like, hey, that guy over there is being an ass, and they'll throw you out of the theater.
Yeah.
If you're late, they don't let you in, which is a little bit much, but
That's kind of nonsense because people still get up to go to the bathroom.
yeah.
So like, what do you just fake
Yeah.
that you were in the bathroom?
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of where we're heading. On the flip side, we had we had Terry on the show a couple weeks ago and talking about the Rogue One premiere, and they had those pouches that you
Yeah.
put your phone in that basically won't unlock until you get out of the theater. Are we heading there too? Like, are we really at the point where we have to like?
I don't know, man. I don't
put
even
child
yeah.
like leashes on people.
I don't even really like going to the movie theaters that much, like because it's just. It feels like air travel. Like the actual, like the traveling by airplane is a miraculous benefit of the 20th century. But it's like this futuristic thing where you just get on this thing and you go someplace and you're like, it used to take people like weeks or months to get there, and now it's just like, it's just a couple hours, whatever. Going to the movies is like, okay, I get to see this big, beautiful IMAX thing, but I got to sit through a bunch of ads for TV shows, and maybe I see a bunch of trailers that spoil stuff.
Yeah, and
like,
people are talking and yelling and walking around. So
So I don't know. It's a weird thing. Things change. Media changes. One movie that came out a long time ago that isn't known for being a good movie is the Mario Brothers movie.
Yes.
We have an action figure of Bob Hoskins over here. There's Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo playing titular brothers, the Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
If you've never seen this movie, it is the reason that. Well, that's weird. Anyway.
There you go.
There's Rei Ayanami. Anyway. It is the reason we don't have more Nintendo movies, or any Nintendo movies for that matter. We had the late Dennis Hopper playing, guess who he's playing? If you guessed Bowser, well,
Yes. What?
Yeah.
The Goombas are weird. The Koopas are weird. They're just men with like Italian men with small heads.
Yeah.
There's something kind of amazing about the set design in this movie. It's like kind of loosely inspired by Blade Runner. I know you can't tell
also,
looking at this guy.
Like, the Goombas are just effing terrifying.
Yeah.
Like they don't look anything like Goombas in the game. They look like Teddy from Bob's Burgers.
But maybe you do want to watch this movie again. Maybe there's
Yeah.
some weird part of you that's
Yeah.
like, I want to see what this weird Yoshi looks like, and this is Daisy, which is odd. I know it looks like she has a candle growing out of her arm there. It's just a
Kinda
weird film.
Yeah. And there's Yoshi, who is just a regular dinosaur.
Yeah, Bob Hoskins said this was the worst movie he ever worked on, and then dealing with the husband and wife director duo who were basically making stuff up
There's
on
an
the
awesome
fly.
write-up. Like I would in a heartbeat buy like a book about the making of this.
Yeah.
I think there's like bits and pieces of that floating around there. But it's getting a special edition Steelbook Blu-ray release with really gorgeous art, and I haven't wanted a bad movie special edition this much in a long time.
God, that's
like,
awesome.
What the heck? Like, who was like, yeah, we need this. But anyway, this is an exclusive from a UK retailer, I think called Zevi. I don't think it would even play on my Blu-ray player, but like, I want to see the special features. I want to see if they have any behind-the-scenes stuff about why this is the worst movie and why all the mushrooms look like actual fungus.
It's weird. This reminds me that like the bob-ombs are the things that they nailed the best in this whole movie. Like that's actually what you would picture they look like in a gritty, realistic Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
I really want this poster, by the way.
Yeah.
I wanted this poster not in my house, but I want it framed in IGN somewhere, in a place
yeah.
where everybody has to walk by it every day to remind themselves that video games are awesome and stupid, and also can be very, very bad at times.
Yeah.
So, that's a Steelbook. That's kind of nuts that they even made that.
Yeah.
They hired an artist to paint those men.
Real weird. Okay, so obviously we talk about Star Wars a lot. We saw it, how many times did you see Star Wars? Three?
Three, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it 3 times too. It's, Star Wars Rogue One. Yeah,
obviously.
and then
The original's
It was actually
God.
the same for Episode 7. Yeah, so we've clearly got a problem. Episode 8 is coming out the end of this year, and we're getting to that point where we're like, okay, when do we start seeing stuff for it? So I figured I would kind of run through the timeline of how these movies have been coming out and been announced and revealed and all that, and see if we can just maybe speculate when we're going to get a title and a trailer for Episode 8. Let's start way back in May 2014. Episode 7 began shooting. On November 6, 2014, Episode 7 was officially titled The Force Awakens, and then a few weeks later, November 28, 2014, Thanksgiving, The Force Awakens teaser was released, and everyone kind of went, holy crap, that's the Millennium Falcon.
Wait, so we got the title for The Force Awakens a year before the movie, and we still don't have the title for Episode 8.
Yes, but I think they're also trying to build up more steam for that.
Yeah.
Because you see
Interesting.
they start to sort of tighten things up towards Rogue One.
Isn't it really weird that we're getting a Star Wars movie at the end of this year and we don't know the name of it?
Not really. That's actually kind of par for the course. George Lucas used to play things very close to the chest too. There's
Okay.
actually a video of Ewan McGregor finding out the name of Attack of the Clones in an interview for a different movie. Like a reporter just tells him like, "Hey, the episode 2 is called Attack of the Clones," and he's like, "What? Really?" So yeah, it takes him a minute to nail that stuff down. March 12, 2015, the first Star Wars anthology was titled Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. We kind of got that out of the blue. Like they were like, "This is what it's called," and we're like, "It's like it's March. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
April 16th to 19th in 2015 was Star Wars Celebration. We were there, and we got our first proper Force Awakens trailer, which aired at Celebration. Big, huge thing. And then they showed the first Rogue One teaser footage, which, surprise, surprise, wasn't in the movie. It just showed a bunch of TIE fighters flying through trees. But it was kind of like, hey, this is actually happening. They talked a bit about the, I don't know, special effects or plot or whatever.
It leaked, right? And like I think
Yeah,
we
it
knew a
leaked.
little bit about the blow up or find the Death Star plans.
We
thing.
knew about the premise of it. We just
Yeah.
didn't know that it was going to be like that close. And that was kind of the thing where like, oh, this is real.
Yep.
July 10, 2015, The Force Awakens behind the scenes reels was shown at San Diego Comic-Con. We were sitting in a bar and looking at it on your phone. It showed a bunch of Muppets and stuff. It showed like Warwick Davis putting on a funny hat and Simon Pegg looking very sweaty. And we were like, oh, so we still don't know much about Force Awakens. They were still keeping it very close and under wraps, but that was still at that point, what, like 5 months away?
Yep.
August 21st, 2015, Entertainment Weekly's Force Awakens issue reveals the full Rogue One cast, which was kind of like, if you compare that to the timeline of Force Awakens, that was a much further away. That was that photo of them all hanging out, like that weird Breakfast Club pose.
And that was August in 2015.
Yeah, that was an issue that was entirely dedicated to Force Awakens stuff, but they were also like, hey, by the way, Disney has a bunch more Star Wars stuff up their sleeve.
That's so cool because it's sort of like when you find out about the sequel. Like they announced a sequel to a Final Fantasy game before the actual one was out at the time a couple of years ago. Like to find out all those details about something that we didn't even really know was a thing yet.
It's odd.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much more stuff is going on behind the scenes we don't even know about.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna find out about the Han Solo movie this August? Like,
I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
December 18th, 2015, The Force Awakens was released. and we all saw it a bunch. And then in February 2016, Episode 8 officially began shooting. I think they did some side photography still in December while they were filming on that Luke Skywalker Island or whatever. And then on April 7th, 2016, the Rogue One teaser was revealed. I think that was just kind of on its own. That wasn't attached to any event. It was the middle of the week. They were like, here you go, ta-da! I think it was on Today Show or something. July 1st, 2016, earlier than the previous one. Have a few theories about why this was. Entertainment Weekly put out their Rogue One feature, which had tons of photos and details and stuff. Of course, at this point, I think Rogue One was undergoing some reshoots.
Yeah.
But also, I think this aligned, like, they were trying to get this out, I think, ahead of Celebration.
Yep.
Like, they were trying to have more, like, they're planning all this around like events and like, you know, they don't want to be like, hey everybody, here's the new trailer, and everyone's like, sorry, it's Thanksgiving, we're busy.
Yeah. Also worth noting that almost it was something like 40% of the stuff that we saw in those teaser trailers and trailers didn't actually make it into the film. So there's even that sort of dubiousness of like, we're getting stuff, we're seeing pre-production photos, and we're seeing trailers, but it doesn't actually mean they're going to matriculate it into something that you get in the film.
So then July 15th, 2016, Rogue One behind the scenes footage was shown at Celebration Europe, and it was kind of like, oh, compared to what we saw for Force Awakens, it was a lot less, I felt like. It was kind of still like a lot more ambiguous, and you know, they showed us some behind the scenes stuff, but it was at Celebration the year before, we got like a story trailer, but we kind of already had that with Rogue One, so it was like, oh, that's Jyn Erso falling over in a rainstorm. Okay. Here's where it gets really interesting. December 11th, 2016, when all of us were getting really, really worked up about Rogue One, Disney filed a trademark for something called Forces of Destiny with a European trademark office. It's for like everything. It's for all kinds of merchandising. It could be maybe their official new name of like the Star Wars product line, or it could be the title of Episode 8, but we don't know yet. December 16th, Rogue One releases. There are a few rumors in addition to Forces of Destiny flying around for Episode 8. There was a rumor on Reddit that it was going to be called Tale of the Jedi Temple, and it would be revealed on May the 4th, 2016. Didn't happen, so who knows? And then there's another rumor via a Croatian Star Wars site, obviously they're filming over there, that it's called Order of the Dark Side. I don't know if that's true or not. It sounds kind of boring, whatever.
Those. There was that leaked video, was it for The Force Awakens, where somebody had taken something from Star Wars Celebration, it was like of a banner that had a fake title for The Force Awakens before it was Force Awakens.
Yeah, people
didn't
do
turn
that
out to
stuff.
be real. Happens all the time.
That seems, Forces of Destiny seems like a pretty safe bet. I am not going to bet on it, but I have a very strong feeling that we are going to see an Episode 8 title revealed. I don't know about a full trailer, but a title and like some kind of announcement on March 16th, 2017.
Ooh, I like that.
Or around that week. I think it's going to be about the first or second week of March. And then April 13th to 16th, about a month later, we've got Star Wars Celebration in Orlando, and I think we're going to get a proper trailer there. The reason I think it's about a month before, I was looking at the calendar, and the first few weeks of March are kind of this like, there's a bunch of other things happening there. I think like one of those days is like International Women's Day, and then like there's the full official Day of Happiness, and they're not going to be like, oh, it's like, they're not going to put it out on St. Patrick's Day, because people are going to be like, everything on the internet's going to be about St. Patrick's Day. So, you know, you got to kind of plan around things that are trending. So
Sure.
I could be completely wrong here, but anyway, July 14th to 16th, the Han Solo title gets revealed at Disney's D23. That's a guess. That's a guess. 2017 this year, D23 this year.
Is there a D23 this year?
I think so, yeah.
I thought it was next year.
No, I looked it up.
Really?
Yeah, it's this year.
Okay.
It's D23 this year.
Don't they do one every other year?
I don't think so. I think they do it every year now. I mean, unless I misread a date, in which case my theory is very wrong. But I think that August 2017, we're going to get an Entertainment Weekly that has a bunch of stuff about Episode 8, and there's going to be more stuff about Han Solo in there. I mean, August is a pretty big window there. And then, of course, December 15th, 2017, Episode 8 releases. There are rumors right now that the Han Solo movie is getting pushed back, but I'm willing to guess, willing to make a wild guess that that's kind of the timeline we're seeing. I think it's going to start to be like around March, we get titles and things revealed, and then there's always going to be stuff piggybacking on things.
Now, Han Solo was supposed to be a summer movie, and
Yes.
we're hearing that it might get moved to December because Rogue One just became one of the highest grossing films of the year, even though it's a December movie. Summer is usually when these things happen.
It's sort of a Titanfall Battlefield situation. Does Disney really want to put Star Wars head to head with its own Marvel movies that are big summer tentpole features? So, on that note, what do you guys think? What do you think the title of Episode 8 is going to be? When do you think it's going to come out? You already know that. So if you guessed wrong for the second question, you screwed up. But yeah, Forces of Destiny. Don't know how I feel about that name, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than Attack of the
Star Wars
Clones.
name,
I think we
whatever.
ranked the titles once on this show. Attack of the Clones is definitely my least favorite, but Force of the I'm with that. I just think it's weird to have 2 movies in a row with the word Force in them.
Yeah, well, it's a popular term. On that note, this was our Up at Noon for this week. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Coming up next, IGN Plays Live is not doing anything, but we have some CES coverage on IGN, so go find out the heaviest computer available and find out why you should throw out that brand new 4K TV. I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with 8K. It's 8K. It's on your way. Thanks for watching.
Bye!
What are you doing?
I was looking at that big 8K TV behind us.
Oh, is that an 8K TV?
Yeah, it is now.
Really?
Yeah, I just named it that.
Cool, the 8K TV. Congratulations.
It doesn't matter. There's nothing happening after this. We can just hang out.
Oh,
Let's
really?
go. Yeah, check out
Check out
this
these-
turtle.
check out
Look
these
at
pogs.
this. Look at this. Look at this guy.
Dude, I got this Spawn Slammer.
Do you know this is Andrew Goldfarb's turtle when he was a kid?
Yeah, why's it got all those stains on it?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Because of this. There's a lot of that.
I like this one. It says bomb. Bomb.
Hello, everybody. Max and Brian here for IGN, and we're playing a game called Tattletale, which just... Yeah, that was the working title, Snitch. But now it's called Tattletale. This is basically a survival horror game about Furbies.
What?
Yeah.
What did you bring me into today?
I mean, you know, in the spirit of enthusiastic holiday toys, you know, who could forget the craze for Furbies and Tickle Me Elmos? This is about Tattletale, who's a little creepy boy, but apparently it's a horror game.
Okay.
So-
Ooh,
Open your Christmas present early. That's a creepy thing.
that's nice.
All
We're
right.
gonna sneak in and get that early Christmas present. It's very dark.
Oh wow, and it makes noise. Okay, so this I don't know how spooky this is. I love that they used a wingding for that.
Yeah, that's odd. Wow, you can really just make any video game now, can't you?
Pretty much.
That's nice.
I'm not sure how scary this game is, and I'll warn you.
You're not into the horrors,
I'm
are
a
you?
huge baby. I'm a huge
A
baby.
bambino.
Yeah, a little child.
A little chubby checker.
Yeah, do the twist. Oh, there's like a treadmill down here. This is like a. Yeah, so I think this is sort of like a cross between.
Ooh, getting those presents early.
Oh, is that